Hello and welcome to another episode of It's All Geek to Me, the pop culture chat show where three friends with varying degrees of nerd knowledge get together each week to have a chat about all things geek. My name is Rich Gittins, and joining me this week and every week is my buddy Chris Lumb. Come on out, Lummy.
Hello.
Hey, old man, how you doing? You all good?
I'm all right, but I feel like somebody's not here tonight. I feel like
there's the same, is it?
There's a presence lacking.
Oh, goodness me. Yeah, this week, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we don't have our third wheel. Our best buddy, Nathan Webb, he's not here. Our third geek. He's not here because he got married. I don't know, he's probably trying to consummate that relationship to make it legal or something like that. He got married this weekend, so if you want to send him your congratulations, please do so. I'm sure he'll be very, very grateful. It was a lovely affair, Chris. It was really, really nice. Yeah, it was good. Missed you though, dude. Really missed you.
Where was it? Now you can tell me because I won't be going.
Yeah, so it was in the Lake District. Oh, man alive. Look, it was beautiful. It was like this big country hotel on the side of Lake Windermere with loads of grounds. I had a family of deer that was just running through the grounds. It was stunning. It was beautiful. The fanciest food you've ever eaten. Webby was like, my bumhole doesn't know what to do. He's never eaten this fancy before. It's way too posh. But yeah, it was good. It was really good. And the best thing about it was during the ceremony, Jo, the bride, during the vows, she said, I take you to be my lawfully wedded husband. Completely by accident. And it was brilliant. It was absolute genius. It was cool, man. It was a really nice, small gathering.
That's nice. It's good.
And I got to take this fellow with me as my plus one.
Oh yeah, saw that.
There he is, little Dexter. There he is.
And
it was good. It was really, really good. Lots of drink, lots of board games, and really, really poorly children. Unfortunately, little Robin wasn't too well, but it was good. It was nice. Yeah, it was really, really nice. It was a good weekend. But you, young man. You went and had a sneaky little watch of Ghostbusters Afterlife again, didn't you?
I did.
Second viewing.
Second viewing, that's it. Twice now. I've went in and analysed it some more.
Was it a lot busier? Was it a lot busier the second viewing?
No, there's nobody in. Honestly, it was Friday night, 9:30 showing, and there was literally 20 people in. I don't get it.
Hell?
I don't know what's going on.
I read an article saying that it's just been a massive success, like way bigger than even they thought it was going to be. So,
but just nobody's in the cinemas, or doesn't seem to be. It's very odd. You can go see a film anytime you want now, can't you? But you know what I mean. It's still a Friday night. You'd think opening weekend there'd be people in there. It was a bit strange.
Oh, that is weird. And what about you, Lovely? What else you been up to? Oh, Big T. Hello, buddy. How you doing? Webby had a lovely wedding. It was very, very fancy. It was nice. It was very posh. It was good. Really enjoyed it. But feel free to leave a comment down below, ladies and gents, just like our good buddy Big T just did. It's about trying to create a big nerd community so we can increase our collective nerd knowledge. So please feel free to share the heck out of our stuff and go over to our YouTube page and subscribe. That would be lovely. Now, Ronnie, have we got any news this week? Is there anything that's been going on?
I think it's been a bit
distracted, haven't we?
It's a bit of the old, because Ghostbusters came out. I think we took his eyes off the prize a bit, and
a little bit.
We were just all excited.
I almost got undone by a dodgy Batman trailer because nearly got caught out. So there's all these fan-made trailers that are coming out now, particularly with the Batman, with this Batman. With the Robert Pattinson one, loads of people are just kind of making up their own sort of fan trailers and just adding whatever they want in it. So this one that I saw, the last shot, it had the latest incarnation of the Joker, which was, I was just like, Lummy, did you see it? And he was like, no, I didn't know it was. No. And
but we went on and had a look, and it was it's clearly just a fake one. But
but you've got to be careful, folks. Got to be careful out there. Stay safe.
There is a new Spider-Man trailer, isn't there, that we haven't reacted to really? So
no, and I think now might be a good time.
Should we get it?
Should we play it?
On? Let's do it.
Fantastic. Let's go. So it's the latest Spider-Man trailer.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Here we go.
Ever since I got bit by that spider, I've only had 1 week where my life has felt normal. That was when you found out.
I could see the wires then, could you?
No, I missed that. I missed it.
Okay.
When you botched that spell where you wanted everyone to forget the Peter Parker Spider-Man, we started getting some visitors.
Do you still think he's not going to be the real Doctor Strange?
No, I think he is Doctor Strange. It's Webby that thinks he's going to be Mephisto.
Right.
I know, I've always thought he was Doctor Strange. I know that he thought originally there was something dodgy about the hairdo, but then our friend Rachel, who works on the movies in makeup and stuff, she said no, that wig's always been like that. But right. He thinks it's going to be Mephisto. I don't think so. I think, to be honest, I mean, we talked about it at the end of the trailer. At the end of the trailer, actually, she can pretty much piece most of the film together with the 3 trailers that we've had so far. But no, I think it's going to be Doctor Strange.
Right.
From every universe.
Hello, Peter. You're not Peter Parker.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Dr. Otto Octavius.
Wait, no, seriously, what's your actual name?
So he's got the Stark tech, hasn't he, on his on his tentacles? What do we call them?
Yeah.
Testicles.
Tentacles, yes.
Testicles.
Tentacles. No, he does, yeah. So I'm wondering if there's going to be any origin stuff for that sort of.
Then maybe they just give him an upgrade. It takes him to Stark
maybe.
Tower. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. We'll see.
There are others out there. We need to send them back. So,
Scooby-Doo this crap.
You know, all this is kind of your mess. I know a couple of magic words myself, starting with the word please.
please, Scooby-Doo this crap.
You're flying out into the darkness to fight ghosts.
What do you mean?
They all die fighting Spider-Man. It's their fate.
So, do you reckon he's going to save them all?
So this is where I think it. So basically, I think what's happening in this is you've got, with the trailers that we've seen so far, you see Peter Parker going to Doctor Strange and asking him if he can turn everything back to normal because everyone's found out that he is Spider-Man. And he wants to, and he's used the spell, hasn't worked. It's opened up a whole shit heap of mess, and it's brought back the supposed Sinister Six, but I can only see 5 of them so far. I don't know who the 6th one is. And then he goes back to him, and asks him to try and help him out, sort it all out. And he says, "You have to kill them all because that is their destiny," and he doesn't want to do that. And I think that's where we see him messing around with the Tesseract and that sort of stuff later on in the trailers. I feel like that's probably the way the film's going to go.
I'm sorry, kid.
Yeah, me too.
Don't.
Look, there has to be another way!
There isn't. They're a danger to our universe.
You're not gonna take this away from me. Peter, you're struggling to have everything you want while the world tries to make you choose.
This is all my fault. I can't save everyone. What's happening?
They're starting to come through, and I can't stop them.
December 17th, exclusively in movie theaters. Tickets on sale November 29th. Spider Monday.
Spider Monday.
Spider Monday.
Oh, good old Spider Monday. So what about you? What do you think's going on there?
I don't know. I wonder if she's going to die. I doubt it. I don't think they're going to kill her.
I was wondering that if that's part of what I think that's too.
Having said that, I think it's his last one, isn't it? Is it supposed to be his last Spider-Man film?
Is it?
I think so.
Also interesting, you haven't seen Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield in.
Oh, they're saving that. That's going to be. They're going to do a final trailer about a week before it comes out and show.
Yeah. Do you think that is going to be the big reveal, or do you think they're going to pull something else? They could do anything, couldn't they? Especially with the whole multiverse thing. It's just which way they're going to go. I mean, are they going to bring X-Men out to try and save them? Is there going to be a sixth member of the Sinister Six?
I mean, there should be the Vulture in there, shouldn't there?
Well, that's what I was thinking. It was going to be Vulture, but then somebody else was. I've heard some other people talk about Venom maybe coming into it.
But why? I mean, Vulture's already been in that kind of, the first one, wasn't he? So, and he went to jail, didn't he? At the end, did he?
Yeah.
So that'd make obviously sense. Here we go.
But
I look Spider since the 6 we've only seen 5. Who do you think missing?
Yeah.
I don't think Venom's going to be. I don't think they'll use that Venom. The one from Spider-Man 3.
Oh, no, probably not. But no, it's interesting. It is interesting. I mean, I always thought it was going to be the Vulture.
We'll see. I mean, I think in the comics, Webb would know more than me, but I think Sinister Six has always been interchangeable in a way. I don't think it's ever been.
That have been, yeah.
Set in stone.
Yeah.
So, big team.
So they could actually do whatever they wanted, couldn't they?
Nightmare Alley trailer. Not seen that, have you?
I haven't seen that either.
Check that out.
Check it out after the show.
It's been a bit rubbish on news this week, gotta be said.
Well, I say it's been difficult because I've been out of London for the whole week. I've been up in Leeds, getting ready for Webby's big day, making sure he doesn't get cold feet and back out or anything like that.
Did he got the scoop? Did he go, I don't know about this?
No. Despite me, pretty much the whole week going, it's not too late, It's not too late, And then he did something really twatty during the week, and I turned around to Joe and I was like, Joe, it's not too late, But no, it's lovely. It was such a lovely wedding, dude. They were so funny together. It was hilarious.
Did they have a Lego on Mr. and Mrs.?
Do you know what? They didn't. I read that comment. They didn't actually have a cake, but I'm pretty sure a cake was made because Nathan's mum is a cake maker. She's a baker. She's really good at making cakes as well.
But she didn't make one for her own
story about her cakes. No, a story about her cakes cropped up in my best man speech. Yes, where we were in Greece, and I thought it'd be hilarious when we were younger. I thought it'd be hilarious to get Webby's camera and take a picture of my genitalia. Obviously, this is way before digital cameras and being able to zoom in on really small things. And when we got back from Greece, Webby took great pleasure in telling me that it wasn't his camera, it was his mum's. And she'd been getting pictures developed because she'd had loads of pictures of her cakes on that film pictures and had gone through them and found a very small surprise, let's put it that way.
Did it have one of them stickers over it, what they used to put on, quality control?
Yeah, no, they couldn't find stickers that small on me.
No.
No.
I mean, don't put yourself down, but you're right.
So with the Spider-Man thing, when is it coming out? What's the release date?
I think 15th over here. I'm sure it's out earlier over here in the UK.
December the 15th.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. It's funny because I was really excited about seeing this film, but the more I've seen the trailers, the less excited I am about seeing it.
I still want to see it. I mean, they're saying it's 2 hours 40 long as well. So.
Oh really? Wow.
That trailer's. I think it's the longest Marvel film, apart from I don't know about Endgame, but.
Endgame's pretty long.
That's a Wednesday, 15th of December. So I don't know if that's true or not. We'll see. But
Afterlife came out on a Thursday.
I'll get to go see it through day on one of them days.
Yeah,
go see it. But yeah,
yeah. No, I do want to see it more out of curiosity now because I've got a lot of questions.
Yeah,
the first thing as well. Film I adored. But
what was the box in the trailer? It wasn't the Tesseract, was it?
I thought it was the Tesseract, but I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure I've seen the Tesseract represented like that in some of the Avengers films.
Right, I don't know.
I might be wrong. It's clearly, obviously, some sort of important magical object that Doctor Strange has, and Spider-Man's trying to use it to do things that are going to unleash hell, you know, and probably open the way for the multiverse potentially.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we'll see what we'll see.
No, I think the way that we're seeing with Cumberbatch with Doctor Strange, I think it's definitely Doctor Strange and not Mephisto. Right. The more you see, the more you think about the things he says in that trailer. Definitely.
Just thinking, we could really make some wild rumours up that Webb's talked about because he's not here. So, like, he said Aunt May was actually Spider-Man. And,
oh really?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh,
and,
I thought she was going to be the Scarlet Witch eventually.
That's what Webb thinks. You know, it might be wrong.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, he does know more than us. He does read the comics all the time. So
I know. I was just joking. Any other news? No.
This Wednesday, Hawkeye is coming out on Disney Plus. So I am really looking forward to see that. It just looks like a really fun, kind of jolly Christmas jape. The gags look really funny.
Do you think they should have waited till nearer Christmas to bring it out because it's a Christmas thing? Do you think this is the question for the night? Is it too early to start watching Christmas stuff? How early can you watch it?
I mean, we all watched Home Sweet Home Alone.
We did, and again they brought that out, didn't they?
On the show, and they brought that out. No, I don't think it is. Because we're going to buy our tree in like a week or two. We're going to get the flat ready, get it all decorated for Christmas. I mean, like, it's December next week, right?
Yeah.
And also, how long's the series? Is it run of 6 episodes? Because it might just be that the last episode finishes around Christmas, and that is Christmas Day in that episode or something.
Yeah, that's true.
I
think there is 6 episodes, isn't there? So
that kind of stands up then. That if it finishes
3
around about Christmas Day.
Yeah,
because they don't have any. That's the thing. They don't have any scheduling conflicts, do they? On Disney, it's not like terrestrial TV or like a regular station. It's a streaming platform, so they can stick it on. They can release it on Christmas Day if they wanted.
They must have stuff worked out so far in advance, mustn't they, for this stuff? Because you think, to have something every other week coming out. I mean, we've got Book of Boba Fett as well. That's out end of December, isn't it?
That's the end of December. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny actually because that little Disney Plus. I got rid of Disney Plus for a little while because I was like, there's not really much that I want to watch on here now. But I've kept it going certainly for the last few months, and it looks like I won't be cancelling it anytime soon.
Yeah, I watched Mrs. Miracle the other day.
Are you feeling festive, Big T? You big old soppy so and so. Sounds fun. Sounds fun. Anyway, Lummy. I don't think we can avoid the elephant in the room anymore. The whole world's talking about Ghostbusters, man. And we went to see Ghostbusters Afterlife last Thursday, and we quickly rushed home. We went to see it separately, and there's a little video of us all at the cinema over on our It's All Geek to Me YouTube page, and then we went rushed back home and we did a pre-record of the show. Now it's going to be a bit weird because we wouldn't normally sit and watch ourselves whilst we're doing the live show, watch ourselves do a pre-record, but because a lot of you haven't got YouTube or don't subscribe to YouTube, don't know we did that video, we're going to put it on this show here, and because Webby isn't here, we can't do a show where all 3 of us are discussing it together. So we thought we'd play the show now with the 3 of us all talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife, our reactions to it, and then we're going to come back at the end of that video and take your comments on what you thought of the film, or our reaction, or any of the opinions that we've had on it. So, look. Go on.
Heavy spoilers in it. I think we do say in the video though.
So the first 10 minutes completely spoiler free. I know Big T has seen those first 10 minutes. Big T, I'm hoping you've been to see Ghostbusters Afterlife. If you've seen Mrs. Miracle, you should have been to see Ghostbusters Afterlife by now. And then the last 20 minutes of it, and there's a big spoiler warning in the video, but the last 20 minutes are pretty spoiler heavy. So,
cool.
Anything you want to say before we go to it, or should we just go to it?
No, let's go to it. Let's run it. You ready?
All right. Yeah, let's go. Hello and welcome to a special episode of It's All Geek to Me, the pop culture chat show where three friends with varying degrees of nerd knowledge get together each week to have a chat about all things geek. Now, the reason this is such a special episode is because today in the UK is Ghostbusters Afterlife Day, and all three of your geeks have been to see the first showing that we could this morning. Now, gentlemen, we have just been to see Ghostbusters Afterlife. Oh, I'm not going to ask you what you thought of the film, and we're not going to do any spoilers just yet. We will do some spoilers later on in this.
We'll warn you.
We will give you plenty of warning.
It'll say spoilers in big letters like that, and it'll flash, and then it'll go across the screen and back across, and then it'll fade out with some clips of Ghostbusters that reaches around the name.
Like the Ecto One siren.
What we'll do instead is try and tell you whether we think this movie's worth going to see.
Is this movie worth going to see?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Lummy, is this movie worth going to see?
I would say hell yeah. Hell fucking yeah.
Okay. So how are you feeling, Lummy, having come out of that film?
I'm a bit what's the word? A bit like that was what we've all been waiting for all this time.
Yeah. I feel vindicated, and I'll tell you why, right? Recently, I've had a spate of watching movies where I thought I was going crazy because everyone else was liking them, and I'm not liking them. I'm thinking, what's going on? This is a perfect example of how you can use CGI and blend it and light it so it looks like a film, and you don't feel like you're stuck in a green screen for the entire thing. So I feel vindicated. I feel much like, it's not just me. They can do it.
Yeah.
They've paid so much care and attention in this movie to lighten it.
It's a love letter to the.
It is absolutely a love letter to the original and to Harold Ramis. Completely, and it was stunning. And the casting of the children in this film was impeccable. I mean, McKenna Grace as Egon's granddaughter, Phoebe. Holy cow! I mean, you turned around to me and went, "She's brilliant," and I was already thinking it. She is just exceptional.
I didn't realize how much of a tech wizard she'd be in it as well. You know,
that was so lovely though. With obviously not getting into too many spoilers, but obviously the absence of Egon and having that character there without shoehorning it in, she just happens to have his natural affinity for physics, science, understanding.
There were a load of extra characters in this film that when we were looking at the trailers, I thought, how are these guys going to be shoehorned into this? Is it going to detract from the kind of feeling of the original Ghostbusters? Yeah. And it was just perfect. It was perfect.
Did you get goosebumps with the music? Did you get goosebumps when the music started? I did. You know when it started?
Yeah.
As soon as it started, I thought this is going to be awesome. Loved it.
Brilliant. Amazing. And the little piano, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Ding, ding.
That was
just beautiful.
Yeah. Oh God. So are you pleased you went to see it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Lummy, you pleased? Because I don't like going to the cinema. There was only 3 of us in our screening.
Yeah. Same with me. I think there was 7 in mine.
Really? It was perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah,
they
nailed it, man. Absolutely.
I'd like to see it with a full audience as well. I'm going to go again tomorrow night. So.
I'm not bothered about that.
Actually, I was 10 minutes in and I was like, I'm loving this, but I already can't wait to have this on DVD or have it on a streaming platform to watch it.
Exactly. I can't wait to watch it again. I was thinking I want to watch it straight away.
Yeah, same.
I looked around. There was one guy in the cinema with us, man. We had the whole place to ourselves. It was
the only time that's happened for me was Robin Williams and Billy Crystal film called Father's Day. Don't know if you remember that one. Shit film, but I was the only person in the cinema.
Wow.
Well, we came out of it, and I turned around to the guy who was in there. I was like, "What do you think?" And he was like, "Yeah, it was really good." We ended up having a little chat. And then he started telling us all about the Ghostbusters Hellborn.
Yeah. So it was the original Ghostbusters 3 that kind of had been trying to get into production for a long time. And and we can maybe talk about a little bit like that, how he related that to this film, maybe when we get into a spoilery section, because it does give a little bit away. Have you got any thoughts about the film that aren't spoilery at this stage?
I do. Right, I'll tell you what I loved. The pacing. Yeah, the pacing was spot on. And how it built, you know, finding the little bits of nostalgia in there, and you know, the worked out how to kind of drip feed a little bit of the, you know, the discovering what the equipment does and all that, and perfect. You know what?
It hit the beats of the first film as well, but in a totally different way, totally different approach. It had that same sort of, like you say, trickling the knowledge through to you.
I've been interested in timing how similar the appearances of Slimer in Ghostbusters 84 and Muncher in Afterlife were. So I've got a feeling they're probably within about 2 or 3 minutes of each other.
And in a weird way, they felt the same but different, didn't they? You know, that exploration of a building and discovering a ghost in there. Well, we're treading kind of into spoiler territory. But yeah, I mean, things to say. The cast were wonderful. The script was great, man. Brilliant. Really, really great.
And do you know the best thing of all? They weren't any forced gags or anything. They're all really, realistic.
There were, but that was part of the mechanism.
That was really, really clever.
The fact that she had all of it.
No. What I mean is, obviously, there's no fucking fart jokes. They're all like that,
It was like exactly the opposite experience to Home Sweet Home Alone, wasn't it?
Even the ghosts that chose to use and make a feature of in this, they weren't cheesy, they were silly, they were just pitched really well.
But it was also the blend of, it was exactly what we talked about when we talked about Ghostbusters before, was that the blend of ghosts that they had. So they had some similar style ghosts to the original 2 films, but also then there was the guy in the diner who was more of a skeletal zombie guy, exactly the same as the taxi driver in the first one. It was just perfect. Absolutely perfect.
It was cool, even with the light trails flying about, showing the different souls and stuff, and it all just looked really, really cool.
But it's like they've used all of the same effects from the 1984. It feels like they haven't even updated them a huge amount. They're just very faithful portrayals of what we've already seen.
Perfected versions of that. What else was I going to say? I really liked how they recast the Ghostbusters in a way. So clearly you've got a new Spengler, but then the friends that they meet along the way are sort of falling into these roles of the other Ghostbusters.
Absolutely.
And I thought that was really cool. Again, I don't want to say too much, too spoilery, but I'll tell you what else I really liked. How much of this film was set in daylight. In pure daylight, and then messing around with the traps and figuring out the equipment in the daylight. You get to see so much. There's no dark corners. Everything's really like lit. It was cool.
Yeah, it's like they left no stone unturned. I wasn't left wanting more or wanting any answers that they didn't give me. And every question that I had, you said this on the way out of the cinema, actually, that you felt like they answered it almost instantaneously and faithfully as well. Nothing was shoehorned in.
Every tiny little scene, it seemed like they'd sat down with a group of guys like us and said, would this work? Do you think this is good? And we would have been, give me more.
The whole thing was fun as well. I've got to say that. They didn't really. You watch this stuff sometimes, and it's a chore. Like I know we talk about Home Alone, but it was a fucking chore to get through that thing. Even to review it, it was like, oh my god, when is this going to end? So
about 15 minutes into this film, I had this real internal quandary going on, because part of me was like, just feed this film into my eyes and ears now. I want to experience all of this film now. I want to know what happens, just everything. I just want to digest this film. And then another part of me was like, I just really want to experience this film and let it all unfold in front of me.
I'm looking forward to rewatching it, because I had to go for a wee after a wee break, man. So I've missed about 3.5 minutes. I think I timed it well. But I can't wait. It's not often I sit there watching a film wishing I could watch it again while I'm actually watching it. It's so weird. Can't wait to pick it up on Blu-ray.
Well, look, guys, I think we can probably get onto a spoiler section now. But for anybody who's going to leave the show at this point now to go and watch Ghostbusters Afterlife, please stay and watch right until the very end, because it's not just one end credit, there's 2 end credits.
Watch the credits. There's some cool stuff going on,
Keep an eye on that, because that's more information and it kind of completes the story as well. Is there anything you want to say before we get into some spoiler stuff, Lummy?
Go see it.
Don't be afraid of no ghosts.
Film of the year. Film of every year. This
definitely.
Did not disappoint, which is unusual for a bunch of jaded dickheads like us.
Well,
you
any friends of the show who have been faithfully watching the show will know how easy it is to disappoint us.
And one thing in a movie can throw you off, and they just nailed it, man. Absolutely, yeah. Perfect.
Okay, well, let's get on to the spoiler section, because there was one thing in this film that did
Spoilers.
almost throw me off. So, spoilers.
Can I ask you guys, was there anything at all that you thought,
Yeah, but it was at the end.
Okay.
It was at the end. Well, almost halfway through and at the end.
Okay, I'll tell you some positives. Contextually speaking, for me, the little marshmallow man scene worked a treat.
I was so
Absolutely
relieved.
worked.
I was so relieved because anybody
Lummy was right about that.
Yeah.
He called that. He
Yeah.
said, "Yeah, but they'll do this and they'll do." And you're right, with the music there and the full context of the scene, it was brilliant. The only thing I regretted was I knew from that point on, once Paul Rudd's character's out, we weren't going to see much of Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's now.
Okay, let's talk about the casting of Paul Rudd in this. I think it was absolutely exceptional.
He's so lucky.
He's playing the Rick Moranis style
God.
character. Obviously, he's playing the Keymaster style character.
Just have that fall in your lap, man. And to be Paul Rudd for 5 minutes and that shit just falling. He deserves it. He's a lovely guy, and he really.
But it was brilliant casting because there were so many. You'd never say that Paul Rudd and Rick Moranis are anything alike, but actually, those two characters and the way Paul Rudd played it, there were so many crossovers and so many sort of tilts.
It was cool. Like, it was really good in it. They all were though. The cast was great. All of them.
Yeah.
There was nobody where you thought, fuck, that was a bit.
Well, you were talking about podcast and the fact that he is.
That is one of those characters that could have gone
Perfect.
completely badly, right? There's a character who makes podcasts. That's what they do, and the joke was a bit thin. However, the way they used it, and the way this guy, you started to notice that this kid is clearly a kindred spirit of Ray Stans.
Yeah.
The way he looks at things, the way he messes about with things, the way when they saw the dates on the wall of the temple,
he was able to relay the important.
recall the occult facts from the back of his mind, and that's what made me think, oh, okay, they're setting up a new Ghostbusters thing. You know, you got the science geek, you've got the lovable chubby guy. You know, the only one I did think let down, if that's the way was a bit of a letdown, if that's the way they're going, is there was no clear replacement for Venkman. I think it's supposed to be Finn Wolfhard, the kid, but he wasn't funny. He wasn't bad, don't get me wrong, but he didn't have any jokes. He didn't really have much screen time.
No, I actually thought he was great in it.
I think they should have made him a little bit more acerbic to clearly mark it out as Peter Venkman's
I get that,
character.
and I think that might come in a later character arc if they do then go on and do another sequel to this, which I think we're probably left with. That final end credit season.
And also, he's a 15-year-old kid, isn't he? So to have that confidence that Bill Murray has in that film, that's part of the fun. That's what makes him funny. Is he just doesn't, So that takes a little while to develop that aspect of your personality, I would imagine.
McKenna Grace her character was just impeccable. I just haven't seen a child performance like that in a long time. All the way through, I'm just like, I'm in awe.
I recognised her from something, but
I mean, if that hadn't worked as well, that character, that it'd have been dead in the water, and it did.
Yeah. And she actually shouldered the majority of this film. Her and Hookmaster, carrying most of them on their shoulders, and they were just.
And she had that
phenomenal
deadpan delivery of Egon when Egon tells a joke. She nailed it. It's like she not only studied the character, but she paid attention to
it's like it was her granddad in real life.
Unbelievable.
Did you get close to the beginning that Paul Rudd that Gary was going to end up being the Keymaster and their mum was going to be the gatekeeper?
Well, one thing I was going to say is, I tell you what, I wish that they kept some of the stuff out of the trailers. Because
it's the bit where Vince Clortho comes out of the Walmart chasing Paul Rudd, chasing Gary. It was at that point I thought he's probably going to end up being the key master.
Well, you know that from the trailers.
There's enough in the trailer. I don't know if you guys remember, but Lummy called that ages ago. I
don't remember.
Yeah, he said that the mum's going to be Dana, and and you were right. You were right.
I just sometimes these trailers give too much away, and I think there was too much in these trailers after watching the film. I wish they kept loads. I know they've got to.
I didn't see the third one that you guys watched because I'm assuming that's where you saw Egon walking at the beginning of the film.
No. You didn't really see
But no,
you
but
saw Egon in his van and running to the house. You knew it.
Right. Okay. I'm really glad that I didn't see, because that would have spoiled the start. Whereas that was the perfect start to a film.
So,
and I was
right,
I actually thought that was a point where, okay, if that's all we see from Egon and the other Ghostbusters, I'm happy with that, because the stunt guy, the stand-in for Egon, you saw just enough of him, and it was just tasteful enough that you're like, yeah, okay, that is older Egon, that's fine. The way they handled it, and the way then when Vince Clortho got him, and or Gozer was all got him at the beginning in the armchair, and then he disappears, see his spirit go, and then you just see the ectometer just light up, and you're like, he's come back as a ghost. That is so perfect. It's beautiful. It's tasteful. It's classic.
So they didn't need to give you any of that. That opening scene, I'm thinking, well, that's a stuntman that looks a little bit like Harold Ramis. That's good enough, man. That's fine. So massive spoilers. By the end of it, where they actually revealed him as a ghost, I mean, if he hadn't looked so spot on, I don't think it would have had the effect. But I can't see how they put that together without him being alive.
Yeah, I'm glad as well he didn't say,
stunning
CGI.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm glad,
because I thought, they're going to have him speak here, but then I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they made that choice not to.
And it was so sweet watching the Ghostbusters apologise to him, and because you find out a little bit of what happened between Ghostbusters 2 and this Ghostbusters, and things haven't gone well. They're not friends anymore. It's quite sad.
Which again, that's an interesting choice as well that they made. When he said that on phone, when Ray were on phone, he went, "Oh, he can rot in hell." I thought, "Oh shit, how they're gonna?"
Can we just address something here? That every time Dan Aykroyd was on screen, and this is the thing that nearly spoiled it for me, I thought he sucked in this film.
Really?
Yeah, really struggled. I struggled with him in the bookshop on the phone, just really hammy. And I struggled with the first appearance of the Ghostbusters in this film. And I thought the script was a bit clunky. I thought their performance was a bit clunky. And it was saved by the little monologue that Venkman gives to Gozer, which was really funny. And then it was saved from that point, and then everything was fine. But it was in that little kind of 2 minutes.
You know what's
I
interesting?
thought, oh god, this is gonna suck at this point.
You know what's interesting? I'm not as it didn't rattle me as much. I knew it was coming, and it didn't blow me away seeing the Ghostbusters as much as I thought it was going to do. No. But what I found interesting is the thing I thought I wanted from this film was that, if they'd have left it out, it would have been a fucking amazing film. Yeah. They didn't have to put them back in and show them as all those wrinkly old farts. It was a little bit more unbelievable. But as soon as he started talking, I was like, yeah, I'm there. I know what you mean about Dan Aykroyd. I felt like, especially on the phone scene, he was phoning it in a bit. Do you know what I mean? It was a bit
literally. No. Yeah. I mean, for me, I didn't really get that. I was just all in. Honestly, if I were a betting person, all my chips would have been in for the whole thing. Maybe the appearance at the end where they stepped in. I'm a bit of one of them people where, if people just appear out of nowhere, I'm a bit like, how the fuck did they get there without anybody? Maybe I'd love, even if they'd have done something as daft as have the Ecto 1A in and the roll up in that, I'd have gone, that's fine. But the fact that we're just there in the suits and a little bit, if we're getting into little niggles about it, right?
With the 4 suits in the basement, and they're wearing the 4 suits.
No. I assumed they were spare Spengler suits.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right, but where did they get their suit? Because earlier on they said.
Ray said he took all our stuff.
Yeah, all the gear, all the proton packs and everything, and they turned up with a proton pack each, and which, for artistic license, you think we want the Ghostbusters back in the full suits, and you could argue why Spengler in his Ghostbusters outfit as a ghost. You could argue that as well, but
Well, I mean, it was nice, really nice to see.
Yeah, it was. So that far outweighs the
But that was the one bit where they nearly pushed it too far, but they reined it back in just before I got annoyed with it.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a little monologue, Venkman, when Gozer knocks him out of the way against the car, Venkman gives his little funny monologue to her. It completely redeemed their appearance at that point.
Yeah.
And then it was just the point where you've got Phoebe holding on to the proton pack and she's shaking.
Oh, that was good.
And that is when That's when my eyes started watering. That's when I had some onion chopping ninjas behind me in the cinema, and I felt Webby look at me as that was happening.
I
I
turned around and I was like, "Look at this!"
But I didn't know that. I didn't look at him. I was just focused on the thing, and I felt him look at me, and I thought I heard him go. And I was like, fuck you.
I don't care. I'm not ashamed to admit when I cry at a movie, but I didn't cry at this movie. I fucking sobbed at this movie. I actually sobbed when they revealed that Spengler was back and they were gonna do it all together. It was just like, and then he disappeared, and it was just the saddest, most beautiful, touching tribute to Harold Ramis. I feel myself going again.
Yeah.
It was fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. They nailed that. I can't believe they didn't dig his corpse up and 3D scan him or something.
It was incredible. And it was just at that moment where he's holding on to the pack, and then the other 3 Ghostbusters are shooting Gozer as well. And then you just see Winston look at him and be like, and that was toned perfect.
And the one thing that really pushed me over the edge was after it had all been said and done, and it just said for Harold, and the film hadn't finished, and they put that up in the middle of the film for Harold, and I was just like,
right. So it was at that point. So I didn't know he was crying, because I was already crying. I thought he was making fun of me, and it was at that point when he said for Harold, I just heard next to me.
Brilliant. Honestly, I've never cried at a film like that. It was wonderful. I can't wait to see it again.
All right, let's talk credit sequences. What did you think of the Dana and...
Now, this is where I made a mistake. So I saw the first one, which I really I loved the bit with Sigourney Weaver and Bill Murray. That
and I love the choice of... They could have tried to explain some plot exposition all right, but they didn't. They just had a little tiny snippet scene.
That was perfect. Great. That was perfect. And then I went to the toilet because all the lights came up in the cinema.
Oh, no.
Toilet, chatting to the guys outside, to the ushers about how awesome the film was. And then I was looking, where the hell is Webby? And I thought, let's go see if he's sat in the cinema still. And I went in, and there's this other end sequence, and I'm seeing Winston and Janine sat there chatting. So I missed the very start of that conversation.
Now, this is where I get a bit worried. I'm not going to lie to you, right? I didn't realise that this wasn't just a remake or a sequel or a reboot. It's the start of a new franchise. Clearly, now we know Winston's character has got all this money. He could fund the Ghostbusters. He's going to clean it up. He's bought the firehouse. You know what I mean? And I thought, oh, wait up, here we go. This is where it all goes tits up. And I really, honestly, wanted to just say, leave it, man. Leave it where it is. You don't push it.
Whereas I'm completely different. I was like, brilliant. I want more of this stuff. But to be honest, if it's just the kids and it's done with exactly the same tone as that film's just been done, I'll be very, very happy with Ghostbusters going forwards. I thought the casting those kids was great. I thought the whole thing was brilliant. And if they have maybe little cameos with the original Ghostbusters in it, totally fine. But I'm really happy if those kids just sort of carry the torch.
I mean, I don't know, because they're so young, those kids. I don't know how they would do another sequel with them in the firehouse.
5 years before a movie comes out.
Yeah.
So she'll be 17. He'll be 19, 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
If they just decide that it starts and they've left the mum at
so
home.
it's going to be. So you mean? I mean, so it could be Winston and them basically.
Well, think about it. Spengler's granddaughter will want to go to the same university her grandfather went to. Yeah. So there's your link straight away.
Well, he's gone back to the firehouse. We've seen the firehouse. We've seen Ecto 1 turn up at the firehouse as well. The thing I was thinking about, Lummy, and I think it was you that mentioned it from the comics or from the real Ghostbusters, where they had an international Ghostbusters.
The original idea for Ghostbusters, at the end of the script, the original script, Winston was in a head office like he was there, and they had Ghostbusters International. It was all over the world. So,
I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, even showing the ghost trap in the basement.
Containment unit. That was an interesting thing to show, because you think, well, what could possibly happen there?
I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine if they don't do anything. Although I will be waiting around for ages going, is there another ghost? Are they going to do another Ghostbusters film? But if they decide not to, and they just want to leave us all waiting, and
I reckon they'll do.
Well, Lummy, if you're worried about the age of the girl, right? Let's say they wait 5 minutes and she's 17 in the next movie. 5 years, and she's 17 in the next movie. She's the kind of kid that will get into college early because she's fucking super smart. You could even make a joke out of that she's a bit on her own because she's younger than everybody. You know, but yeah, I'm. If they could do what they did for this film, great. But I'm not. I'm fine with it now.
You've kind of got the closure from the originals there. You know, everybody always wanted that thing with it. What happened next? You know, Ghostbusters 2 finished, and you were like, well, what happened to the Ghostbusting stuff? Did it close down, or did it?
You know, we got explanations for all that. It was really cool. And if Winston buys all that stuff back and repurposes it all, I think in the next movie, it's likely that you will see Winston as a main character. Daddy for the Ghostbusters. Bill Murray and Ray. I think they're done. I think they've gone right. Which of you is interested in keeping this going, and who of you wants to retire from it?
Yeah.
Because Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd have been pulling away from this for.
No, you're wrong. Dan Aykroyd has an investment.
Bill Murray has. Bill Murray has everything he does.
Bill Murray, I think he's had his closure on it now. I think he's done his thing and gone. That was it.
They got him. They're lucky they got him to do that and to be Bankman again. I would.
It's really interesting.
Ghostbusters. I would have loved him still to do that scene with Dana at the end in the credits. Even if he hadn't showed up to fight the ghosts.
Yeah.
If they just had that would have been a nice little. You know.
Is there anything you'd have done different, or after watching the film? Is there anything where you thought I was waiting for the choose a travel a bit? I honestly can't.
See, I was waiting for.
I thought they were gonna kill off the Gozer, and then the voice were gonna come. I thought they were gonna do another one of them where they went choose, and they all looked at Ray and went no.
That was the best. That was the best bit where he said to "Are you a god?"
God?
And in the first film, he goes, "Next time somebody asks you,"
yes,
and he did straight away, and it kind of pulled that joke up. It was fucking brilliant.
So I had the theory that they were gonna do, Ray, and then you were going to hear this walking, and you would look up, and it was going to be a giant Egon. So I'm really glad that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I was thinking it's the softest thing that would never hurt us, and there's a giant Egon. I would have hated that. So I'm so glad they didn't do anything like that. I just
and also you can't top the giant marshmallow man. So how would you? It was interesting that they didn't have something like that, because in the first film that was the whole end battle, wasn't it? You know. And they went across the stream straight away, didn't they?
Great, perfect.
That was
that was absolutely cool because they were like, she's uncrossing the streams.
That was amazing. What about the music to the film? What do you think about that?
It was spot on. Loved it. It fit as well. There was a danger because it was the score from the 80s, pretty much. It wouldn't play, but I think it did. I think it worked really well.
The music when they flew from their way to Somerville, the music that they played, the clap, clap, clap.
I thought the score was really, really well done. They just reworked it a little bit, and there were new sequences and new bits, but it fit completely. And I also would argue that it wouldn't have felt anywhere near like a Ghostbusters movie without those little choices of snippets you took from the first ones. You needed it, and to hear it while they're going through, that figuring out the piano music that goes ding 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 when they're figuring out the fountain. It's all got a spooky vibe. It just added to it. It was amazing.
I adored it. Honestly, that's the best cinema experience I think I've ever had. I just adored that film. I've been anticipating and waiting for this film. It's one of my favourite films ever, Ghostbusters.
Honestly, I'm going to go.
It's just done it such service. I'm just delighted.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that was perfect for me, and I don't need any more. I don't want any more. Don't ruin it now.
I don't think they'd have written this one in the way that they did and finished it in the way that they did if he did not feel like he had another Ghostbusters script up his sleeve.
Yeah, and there's it's not set in stone. The way the movie finished is the way the movie finished. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing, Gozer can come back, Pterodox can come back. There could be another aspect to this mind. All sorts of stuff.
Yeah, Ivo Shandor can't come back, but I guess we can have a chat about that between ourselves, Lummy.
That was brilliant, though. That was brilliant. Like he did come back in this movie, and then he didn't. Like straight away. That's a spoiler I'm not going to give, but that was great. Like,
but the whole thing. I mean, I think they've done the Gozer thing now. They've done it twice. I think, go with something else. I mean, people do badmouth Ghostbusters too, but I liked that idea. I thought.
Why? I think the Carpathian was brilliant.
Do you know what? For me, it falls into that sequel trap. This is a sequel. This is a sequel. Here's a sequel. It just it didn't work. It's not as good as the first one.
Well, no, it's not as good as the first one, but
that was lightning in the bottle. The first one, you're always up against it.
Look, Ghostbusters is not only got a special place in all our hearts. It is like one of the #1 films in my psyche, in me. I love it. I love it so much, and I would say this one is equal to it, if not better than.
Yeah. All right, geek rating out of 5. What would you give it?
I'd give it 6 geeks out of 5.
6 geeks out of 5. What about you, Lummy?
I'd give it 7 out of 5.
I was gonna warn up.
Well, I don't feel like we should have a competition on this. It was just a really bloody good.
Just go
film.
Honestly, it takes some beating, that film, and it's one of the best. Like you said, one of the best cinema experiences for a long time.
Brilliant.
For a long time.
Certainly for 2 years.
Yeah.
Right, okay, well, we're going to finish up this section of the show. Webby, you are going to disappear now, and then Lummy and I are going to be right back to get your comments on what you think of our review and Ghostbusters Afterlife. So, Lummy, I'm going to see you with the other side of this cut.
See you in a minute. And with that,
there you go. We're back in the room. Back in the room.
We're never away.
All right, so has your opinion changed at all since you saw the film again on Friday? Were there any other things that you noticed about the film that you missed the first time round, or was there anything that you thought, actually, like when they just turned up all of a sudden? Did that
I still think
the second time round.
I think as you know it's coming now, and you know what you're going to get. It's just watching it again and going, it's still good. It's just, the thing that kept getting me in the second viewing was the Gozer thing again. I'm thinking, could they have done a different bad guy? Could it have been something else?
Yeah, I get that.
I think it's retreading on a lot of stuff. The difference is with this, and like Force Awakens, which was accused of that as well, is at least this one, they got you the redeeming thing at the end where they're back together, which they didn't do with the Force Awakens. Webby
and I discussed that over the weekend actually about your opinion of it and things like that. Because I was actually saying, because I was going to ask you, do you think this film could have done without them being back together, but had Winston being there in the cutscene, having Ray in the bookshop being like, nah, not interested, and having Venkman and Dana Barrett just playing that game in the cutscene? Do you think would that have been enough? Do you think?
I mean,
having Egon as a ghost.
Yeah, I'd rather. This stuff for me, they're already tapping into the nostalgia thing. You think, why wouldn't you just have them all together? They're all actors. They're all there. They've all been to do the film. It's not like I think that was the problem. That was the big problem with episode 7. You went, why have you not got them all back together? Even one scene at the start of that film or the end of the film would have been fine, just to give you that kind of. Again, it's closure. You watch these films when you're a kid, don't you? You think, I'd love to know what happens, with these things. I know they're not catered for us and they want to make the money and all that stuff and they want a new generation of that. But people, they need to realise that these are. I mean, why use them characters if you're not going to do that? You might as well not bother. No,
I get that. No, I do get that. I think actually, I know a lot of the critics are disappointed with hitting the same beats that Ghostbusters 84 did. But the thing is, they've had to do that in order to then, one, pay the fan service because, as you said, one, what harm is it doing? One, it's going to increase revenue. 2, it's passing the baton then to that next generation of Ghostbusters fans. And if it's done in just a beautiful way that Jason Reitman did this one, I actually have no problems and I'm really quite interested in seeing if they do, which I think they will
I think they'll do.
What the next incarnation is going to be. Because if go on.
I was going to say, do you know what the interesting thing is? It won't cost them as much to make another film than it did with this one because they'll have to pay Bill Murray and that an absolute fortune to get them back in. Now they don't need them for the next film. Now they've done it. They could, like,
they would probably have to pay the kids more money though than they did on the first one.
I guess. But Winston and that. I mean, they're already earning. They'll already be earning a lot of them kids because they're not new actors.
No, they're not. No.
You've got your Stranger Things like that, and that McKenna Grace.
McKenna Grace stuff
already.
Stuff.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it won't be. You're not talking Bill Murray money, are you?
No, you're not. No.
So that's quite interesting. I think the Winston idea, like we just said in the video, I think that would be the way to go. Because I think he'd be easy. I mean, you'd probably have Dan Aykroyd as well because he's an invested thing in that Ghost Corps and everything. I think Bill Murray still gets a say in the films. I think that's why it's took him so long to.
Really, I wasn't aware of that.
I think he's got a percentage.
Quite late to Ghostbusters, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he has. I think he's got. The only reason he did Ghostbusters was to get another movie made that he did. I think it was that Razor's Edge.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
And so he's got. I think he owns a percentage of the stuff, and they can't do it without his say. And that's what's taken so long to do it. And I think that's why they were in the 2016 one, because something to do with the thing he had to be in it, and he was like, that's why he took that part where he just sat there.
Do as little as possible. I think I didn't have a problem with the Gozer being in this, because Dan Aykroyd had always said that the computer game was the sort of substitute third film, and that was so heavily concentrated on both Ivo Shandor and who was the main villain and Gozer. So I quite like the fact that they've gone, okay, that game is not canon anymore, because we have the third Ghostbuster film, and here we are with these two characters. I'm still not too sure whether I feel like it was a bit cheap with just ripping Ivo Shandor in half, but I do like the idea that this suck-assy devotee servant to Gozer, who's been trying to get Gozer the Gozerian to come back and destroy, mankind, everything. It's just come along. The first thing they've done is just rip him in half.
Yeah.
That is quite,
Yeah. There was, it was still good second time. I'll watch it again when it's out on Blu-ray.
What about Easter eggs? Did you notice any Easter eggs, or have you seen any Easter egg videos about Ghostbusters?
I've not watched any of the videos. I mean, I saw loads of stuff when you're watching it anyway. When you go through it, you can see.
So, I don't know about you. I think a lot of, and I certainly don't want to badmouth any of the competition or other YouTubers or anything like that, but I think people are getting confused as to what Easter eggs are. I mean, I watched one video which going, well, the kids are using proton packs, and in the first film, the Ghostbusters used proton packs, and Finn discovers Ecto-1. Ecto-1 was the car they drove, and McKenna Grace is acting like a young Egon Stans. Egon Spengler, sorry. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Yeah, because these are plot points. They're not Easter eggs. But little things like what I really enjoyed was the stack of books in Egon's house. Did you notice that? The stack of books from the library in Ghostbusters, and the what you call it, Twinkie in the glove box.
Yeah, you've even got you've got stuff like the
Crunch, Nestle's Crunch as well.
And on the locker door, there's a maid sign as well. Did you see that?
No, I missed that. What was that?
On the locker before she opens it, there's a maid sign that's on the same door as Venkman's. Maid service, turn down the room.
Yeah, no, I do know exactly what you mean. I missed that. There's one that I haven't seen anybody mention yet at all.
There's, I'll tell you what I did notice on the second time. On the cinema.
It's from Ghostbusters 2. It's one of the only references that I've noticed to Ghostbusters 2, actually. Jason Reitman has said that there are several references to Ghostbusters 2 in this film.
The Ivan Reitman, his first film's on the billboard outside. I can't remember the name. Just have a look. Cannibal Girls.
Cannibal Girls. That's it. It is. It's Cannibal Girls.
So that's on the billboard on the cinema. They always do stuff like that. Gremlins and things got references. Back to the Future. But yeah, so there'll be loads of stuff by the time you start unraveling it all. But yeah.
So there's one Easter egg that I haven't seen anyone mention, and we are going to put it out in a video this week. So we're going to do a little another Ghostbusters Afterlife little standalone video on our It's All Geek to Me YouTube page. But Finn wearing the Chevrolet t-shirt.
All right.
So Gozer the Gozerian gets the name from two different sources. One, the Enfield Hauntings. Gozer was written on the walls in the Enfield Hauntings, so they like the fact that they've chosen a name that actually is steeped in some sort of paranormal law. But also there was a Chevrolet dealership in upstate New York called Goza Chevrolets.
All right.
And so Finn's wearing the Chevrolet t-shirt. And so that can't be a coincidence. That's got to have been something that was planned. But I'm interested in seeing, because there's a lot of people that are worried that this film means that Ghostbusters 2 isn't canon anymore.
No, it is. It's still canon.
I know they've said it is canon, but it's just Jason Reitman, because Ghostbusters 2 wasn't that as popular with the public. Actually, then they're just not noticing all of the Easter eggs in Ghostbusters Afterlife that are to do with Ghostbusters 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Are you going to see it a third time?
Maybe not. I think it's another one of them now. I mean, cinema's so expensive, to go. Well, I mean, it's expensive enough, isn't it? By the time you've done,
Yeah, but you've got like a drawer full of vouchers that you collected.
No, I've used them all. Now.
Used them all?
I only had 2 vouchers.
Really? I think
but I'll tell you what I did do. On the Thursday night, I booked tickets for the Friday night, and I stupidly booked the same night. I was like, so what I did, I booked. It was Thursday when I booked them for Friday, but instead of selecting Friday on the bloody screen, I put Thursday 9:30. And I went to cancel it, and it wouldn't let me do it, so I had to drive to the cinema to cancel the tickets.
Classic Lummy.
And when people do this all the time, I went, hey, it's not my first rodeo. I used to work at one. And I did that thing, where the transaction was taking ages, and I thought, oh, this is awkward. So I started saying, I used to work in a cinema, and I thought, what am I doing? So then I went down that route of telling them what cinema is and all that, and they were really, do you know when you're making small talk with people and you all want to get out of there, you're all like, this is shit.
I know exactly what you mean, because I've just stayed at a hotel this weekend, and obviously I was brought up in a hotel, so I was like, thanks ever so much, and I was going, no, you're most welcome. I was like, no, I lived in a hotel, and I know, oh, you dick, shut up. It's like,
just walk away.
Like, I don't care. I just leave me alone. I'm trying to do my job.
And they thought they couldn't care less whether I worked at Odeon Ellington or when it were open. They didn't give a shit. They were just like, what time's my shift finish? I'm like, yeah. So
in a Ghostbusters, so where do you think they will go with the Ghostbusters 3? Because there is an episode of the real Ghostbusters where it's one we're talking about. Is it called Hellspawn? Or hell, something, can't remember. But it's basically to do with Egon being dead and a ghost. And helping them. So I'm just wondering whether that will have anything to do with third Ghostbusters.
No, I think they're done there with that. I think the Winston approach is the way they're going to go. And I think a cameo in the next one with Ray, coming in and seeing how it's going.
Janine as well, maybe.
Oh, Janine, I reckon they'll get Janine back as the secretary. I reckon that'll be.
What was she doing? Why was she interviewing Winston? I didn't quite understand what was happening in that scene.
She had that coin, didn't she, with her that was in the scene before it. You probably missed that, didn't you?
Yeah, because it's when I went to
right. So there's a deleted scene in Ghostbusters where she gives him a coin from the World's Fair, and he says, "Oh, I can't take that if it means so much to you." And she says, "I've got another one at home. Don't worry about it." And she played that scene basically, and then she were in office twirling the coin, just talking to him. So I'm not quite sure, but it was just a way to sell the next. I was very surprised to put that on that end scene to actually set something up. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, because literally that is it. Because you see the scene with Dana and Venkman, and then the lights came up in the cinema, and Webby was like, "Oh, I said roll a cigarette and watch the credits go up," and I was like, "I need a wee," and I missed the whole.
You kind of think, I get the thing, even if they'd left it with the Ecto-1 coming in and him putting his hand on it as if there's a bit of suggestion, but it didn't stop there. It showed the containment unit with a light coming on, and you think, so you're literally saying there is going to be another one here.
Because that means that there is a ghost in the containment unit as well. So what ghost do you think is in the containment unit at that point?
I really don't know, because...
I think it's going to be Slimer.
But you do think, where did they put all those traps that the captured Gozer in and everything at the end? Because they're all under the soil, weren't they?
Yeah,
so they've had to be deposited somewhere. Where?
That's true. That's very true.
So there's a few things like that where you think, I wonder where they are. I assume Slimer will be with Rick Moranis' character Because that's a possibility as well. They maybe get him back.
Do you think though? Because he's very much retired from acting, hasn't he?
He's come back, hasn't he? I thought he was back to do it.
Really?
Yeah, waiting for his kids to, get older, and because his wife died tragically, didn't she? And then he brought his kids up on his own, I think, and then I think he's back. He was in a thing with Ryan Reynolds, an advert of all things.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, and then I think he's getting back into doing stuff. So I don't know.
I'd love to see Rick Moranis come back in the Ghostbusters. That would be brilliant. That would be brilliant.
I mean, they've also the other opportunity that nobody's spoke of really. That Dana had a kid, Oscar. Where's he? They could cast somebody. True. They could cast somebody as him, and he could be a Ghostbuster. Also, we're also not thinking about the Paul Rudd possibility with this. We haven't even mentioned it.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the money as well. That'd be more money if he was coming back.
Winston and Paul Rudd's character,
they get paid quite well.
Leading the kids on another mission, but a different baddie. I'd like to see another one.
So, because they have pretty much, I mean, you have got your 4 Ghostbusters now in the next generation, haven't you? You've got your replacement Ray, your replacement Egon, your replacement Winston. I guess that girl Lucky's going to be Winston, I'm assuming. Well,
Webb said she were going to be more of a Peter Venkman sarcastic, wasn't she?
And Finn Thingy's going to be more of a Winston then?
Maybe, more the guy who done, because I can't remember if he said he believed. Well, they obviously all believe in it now, but. Who was said to her a skeptic? It was a little last one who said to her a skeptic at first. She said, no. What's face?
Oh, Phoebe.
Phoebe said, didn't she, at the start of the film? She said to that podcast kid. She said, "I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't believe in ghosts and all that."
I mean,
he's the Ray, isn't he? He's the Ray.
Yeah. And that. Do you know what? I know that I was a bit hard on Dan Aykroyd in our sort of reaction show, but I really loved that scene between podcast and Ray. It was brilliant. When he's it's a really good show. And he's like, "You're my subscriber," and it was just, it's really sweet.
I think it's interesting that because the jokes in this film weren't like the jokes in the other films.
No.
They were very
way more postmodern and modern with it as well. They were way more current.
And that made me think of that. When you just said that, then I thought that joke would never have been in one of the other. Films. Interesting, isn't it, that?
No, the very, very few. One of the only jokes that probably would have been in it was Venkman's monologue. All the stuff that Venkman said. That's just classic. Yeah. Oh, there was apparently an ad lib in there as well. What was it? By Ray. And it was to do with is it Robert De Niro's company that has bought the firehouse in real life? I think it might be Robert De Niro's company. Or was it Al Pacino? No, it's Robert De Niro's company. Has bought the firehouse and realised that it has this enterprise of businesses, basically. And I can't remember what the company is called, but apparently Ray mentions it in Afterlife.
Oh.
I was reading a...
Do you mean there's 2 firehouses, and there's one in New York that's a working fire station, and then the one where they film the interiors in LA.
Oh, it might have been that then.
But the LA one's been condemned, the building, for ages, I think, the interiors of that. So maybe he's bought that. I don't know. But that's where...
But apparently he mentions Robert De Niro's company in it, and he says, there's no chance with such and such still on, around. And it's actually... And it's like, very doubtful Jason Reitman would have written that in the script, and sounds very much more likely that would have been a Dan Aykroyd ad-lib. But it'd be interesting to go back and watch it. I just want to get a copy of it now and watch it again. I wonder
what they've cut out of it as well. That's always interesting. Deleted scenes and things. I wonder if there's any extra things. I still stand by what I said in our review, though. That I wish they hadn't have put as much in the trailer, because again, second time I watched it, I thought, this was in the trailer, all of it.
Yeah.
Pretty much all the marshmallow stuff you'd seen. All the Terror Dog stuff you'd seen with Paul Rudd in the same area, that was in the trailers, all of it. It's like there were no bits where you...
Really... I'd also, because we've also had it come out that when Dana Barrett turns into the gatekeeper and she puts on a sequin dress, that it's not her sequin dress, that actually that manifests itself on her. Because that happens with the kid's mum as well in this one. So that's weird. I mean, maybe I'd have liked to have seen her maybe put on, like, have her own clothes on. I just think that's a really weird detail to include. It was just a bit bizarre, isn't it? What I did really love was that they stayed really faithful with the way that they transformed themselves, with their arms like that, the way that they it was almost like a praying thing, the way that they transformed into Zool and Vince Clortho. I really like the fact that they didn't diverge from that at all.
I have actually thought of one thing they could have done more of in the film. I wanted to see some more ghosts. If you think about the ghost count in the film, there's hardly any in it.
Very few. Yeah, you see the sort of zombie in the cafe, in the diner. You see Muncher,
and you see this eye ghost where it pulls out, which is based on the old toys. That's it, really. There's nothing more.
It is based on the old toys. I forgot about that. Yeah. But that's about all I saw, other than obviously the Terror Dogs and Gozer, and.
So I know, in the other films there is them montage sequences, isn't there, with all the,
That's really lovely where you've got the news reports. So tell me, have you seen Elvis and what's he doing lately, and all that sort of stuff. It's brilliant. The jogger in the park where they sat there, the jogging ghost, and he presses the trap, and it's just a classic sequence. That is brilliant. Yeah, no, you're right, and especially since this film was so long as well. I mean, 2 hours and 4 minutes. It didn't feel like it was that long.
No, it didn't.
I was watching it.
It's standard now, isn't it? Everything's that long. It's like Spider-Man we talked about earlier. 2 hours 40.
2 hours 40. That's going to be a bit of a marathon.
Bond was 2 hours 45 as well, or whatever, near there.
Do you know that's been released on streaming platforms already?
Yeah.
I think
US.
No, over here now as well. I think you can actually buy it on streaming platforms here now already.
All right, cracking.
I don't know. Is that a testament to cinema? Things just moving quicker than knowing that fewer people are going to the cinema because of the pandemic, or is it just a case of the film not being as good and being released a bit quicker?
I'm not sure. I guess people still like going to the cinema, so maybe they've thought we better cash in while we can on this and get it out on as soon as. But I remember stuff taking years to come out, didn't it? It used to, stuff, everything's so quick now. You could actually not go to the cinema and go, I'll watch it a month later when it's out on,
That's pretty much what I do. I mean, apart from it's a very special film that I would go to.
I've got to say I do that. I've done that with the Eternals. I haven't watched it. I'm not bothered. I'm going to wait because I thought I'm not going to pay 20 quid to go watch Eternals after reading all reviews saying it's not that good. It's like, why would you? I'll wait.
Is that how much it costs at the showcase? 20 quid.
It's maybe about 15 in it, and then but by the time you've two of you go though, you 30 quid a pop.
It's true. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, no, because Sylvia wants to go and see Ghostbusters, and I'm kind of like, but as much as I'd like to go and see it again, and I'd love to see it with you, I just want to watch it at home now because I've seen it in the cinema where it was me, Webby, and one other person. I'm never going to get that experience again. I'm going to have to deal with loads of other people, and this is the time now I just want to really concentrate and focus on details and things like that. No, it's going to be a weird one.
It'll be out soon enough, I'm sure. It's not going to take long.
Where do you think it's going to show it?
Oh, what, on streaming? Streaming well, it's Sony in it, so PlayStation and all that. So maybe, oh God, I don't know.
I don't know if it'll be Netflix or Amazon or.
I think is it Netflix? I'm not sure who they have a deal with, Sony. Or...
No, it's all right.
Probably do a Sony Plus and everybody will go, fucking hell.
Yeah. Well, because she goes, Spider-Man as well.
Oh, actually, Ghostbusters is I think the original's on Netflix at the moment, so maybe they.
It is.
Yeah. Maybe they.
Do you know, all of this has made me want to watch Ghostbusters 2 again. I just really want to go back and watch Ghostbusters 2 again. It's such a great film. I can't believe it just got the amount of shit that it did.
I know. I've always thought it was good. I've always liked it. But I mean,
it's exactly what you want from a sequel. It's not an exact carbon copy of the original.
The visual bad guy is good. I love the thing at the end with the painting. I love that idea with the painting.
Brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love the slime. I love the whole thing. I love the toaster scene. Oh, that was another reason that Ray had the toaster in Ray's occult shop.
Ah, right, yeah.
The toaster was there that they had from that. So there were some little moments like that. Lummy, have you got anything else you want to say about Ghostbusters Afterlife?
No, I think we've covered everything.
We're quite covered quite a few. We will be releasing a video hopefully this week where we're going to explore Goes of the Gozerian, Vince Clotho, and Zool in a little bit more detail, and looking at some of the Easter eggs from Ghostbusters Afterlife. Also, but Lummy, what have you got going on this week? What's happening on Box Office Radio?
Well,
special show this week.
Speaking of Ghostbusters, here we go. Look at this. Tomorrow night, there you go. We've got a special episode.
Yes.
With music from Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, and Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Awesome. Have you got the soundtrack to Ghostbusters Afterlife now?
Oh, yes.
How similar is it to the film?
It's you've got all your obviously your old themes here, but there's some good tracks in there. It's all right, but it was on download. That's how we got it so fast. It was on. You can buy it for £8 on Amazon. So.
Oh really?
Well, they do that now. People aren't buying physical CDs anymore. It's just like everything's downloadable. It's just like straight away. We're out the day of the film. Friday.
Was
straight
it?
away?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to be tuning to Box Office Radio tonight because there's some classic songs in the Ghostbusters collection.
Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. There's a couple of songs, a lot of it's score music, but yeah, you'll enjoy. I've mixed it up a bit,
Nice. Yeah, the soundtrack's just brilliant. And what about gigs this week? Can people come and see you performing anywhere this week?
Yes, you can. I'm just trying to remember where we are this week. We're at Stockton Friday.
Wowzers! God, flashbacks, Lummy.
Don't know who goes up there.
We used to perform in Stockton all the time.
Yeah, Millennium won it.
Yeah. Oh God, that was a place, wasn't it?
A shithole nightclub. it was awful in the industrial park. But we're at the
lovely place.
Georgian Theatre on Friday. Then I'm going to a little after party. Do I? On the Saturday.
You are. I'm not. Yeah, you are the It's All Geek 20 presence at that. Yeah, you're going to a little soiree part of the year. That'd be good.
Yeah. Joe and Nath's wedding do. So I'll go take over from where you left off.
Do it. Actually, do you know what happened? What happened this weekend? Somebody dropped out of doing a reading. Just anxiety got the better of them. And so just before we set off to the Lake District, so we got there on the Friday. The wedding was on the Saturday, and then we left on the Sunday. And I think it must have been maybe the Wednesday. Joe said, or no, one of them said, well, Rich can do it. I was like, sorry, what? And they were like, you'll do the reading for the wedding. I was like, as well as my speech. And they were like, yeah. So they gave me this reading from Captain Corelli's mandolin. And Louis de Bernier, and it was
not the Nicolas Cage film.
Not the Nicolas Cage film. Well, I mean,
I'd like to share. I got a mandolin.
That's how I did it. That's how I did it. Yeah. I was like, love is like a volcano. It erupts. In the middle of the service. So I ended up doing this reading that I wasn't expected to do, and there was a word in the read. I got it all spot on. In all my practices.
Yeah.
There's a word, promulgation, right?
Oh.
Nailed it every time until it came time for the reading.
Oh.
I can't remember the words, but it was like, to cast aside the promulgation of, just like, oh no, that's awful. And also, during my best man speech, I made a right old cock up. So I wrote the speech, and there was a lot of things I wasn't allowed to talk about. So I had a couple of little bits from mine, and Tom Nathan did a poo that smelled so bad it made my mum sick, and she was an entire floor and 3 rooms away at the time. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
But then I did a whole lovely thing about how Webby's just the kindest hearted person who has this habit of just picking up waifs and strays and making them feel loved and caring for people and just being really nice. I know, because I was one of them. I know he'd stick up for me when I was being treated unjustly, and he'd hold a mirror up to me whenever I made a mistake. Which brings me to Joe. What the fuck? Why didn't I notice that when I was proofreading my speech? So I was just like, oh, that's not... Oh, I didn't mean that.
Oh my God.
Oops. I know. I had to apologise for that. That was pretty...
Oh dear.
Good. It was a really lovely affair. But we will be back next week, next Monday, with another episode of It. Are you going to be here next week?
Yeah, we'll be back to it next week, won't we?
Phew, I thought you were about to tell me that you weren't going to be
No.
All three of us will be back. I'm starting rehearsals for a new show on Monday as well, that I found out this week.
What is it?
It's another opera. It's called Nabucco, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah, I know Nabucco.
Yeah, bit of Giuseppe Verdi. Verdi.
I know that one. I've been in that one. Yeah, I won't spoil it for you though. I won't spoil it for you.
Fantastic. Yeah, I want to. Yeah. No spoilers. And so I'm going to be coming straight from rehearsals to the next week's show.
Cool.
Real good.
Okay.
But yeah, so we'll be back. Please, ladies and gents, please go and share the heck out of our content. Go over to @It'sAllGeek Twit and give us a follow, drop us a message, and go over to channel Lumb, where our live shows are currently being streamed, and then back over to It's All Geek to Me over on that there YouTube, and give us a subscribe as well. That would be lovely. But thank you to Big T for your comments earlier on. Thanks, Lummy man. We've missed you, Webby. We miss you, buddy. You're our third amigo. But we will be back next week, 7:30, Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch. Until then, I've been Gittins. He's been Lummy, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye, folks.
Bye.